I was most valuable player out of about 250 guys. So, and I got a chance to meet Isaiah Thomas. I was able to see Magic Johnson, and coming from my community, I was the first basketball player to make it to the NBA and be drafted. Coach Haynes, he taught me work ethic, and basically I was a water boy on his team. I was a tag along, but me being the water boy, getting yelled at that age, it taught me humility. It taught me patience. It made my skin thick, as a kid. None of them never thought that I would turn into the professional athlete that I was able to turn into. But those things as a child that I was able to experience, it shaped and it molded me into being the athlete that I was able to become, later on in life. As a sophomore in high school, my coach, Coach Haynes, he started me on the varsity, and I was pretty good. I wasn't that guy or that dude, but I, was pretty good. Even though football was my first love, he ran me off the high school football team because he was like, no,
This ain't your
basketball is your sport, man. But I was pretty good in football, but I wasn't, gonna turn out to be a pro, I don't think. But Coach Haynes, he was really instrumental in, seeing. He always used to say, "You're looking in a fishbowl, son, and I'm looking in an ocean. I see, something more for you." So I just, worked my butt off. I had to get it. By the time I was a junior in high school, dealing with my older brothers and guys older in my community, because I played up, I was all day tough. All day tough.
And that's when you realized you were that guy?
I realized my junior year in high school, I went to BC camp in Carnesville, Georgia, and I became, I was most valuable player out of about 250 guys. So, and I got a chance to meet Isaiah Thomas. I was able to see Magic Johnson, and coming from my community, I was the first basketball player to make it to the NBA and be drafted out of my whole community on the Gulf Coast. And we ended up, after I was named, MVP of the BC camp, my senior year, I just exploded. Ended up averaging almost 40 points a game.
Your junior year?
My senior year. Yeah, when I exploded, just about every major university in the country was coming to Mississippi.
Why did you decide to go to UGA?
It's unique story. My final 5 schools were Illinois, Missouri, Clemson, Georgia Tech, and Alabama.
Oh, UGA wasn't even in the top 5.
UGA, they were there, but I was kind of dead set on those schools, and then come to Vester Anderson. He was the assistant coach who was from Mississippi. And he went to the same junior college that my dad went to. And he was a master recruiter. He was just really savvy. He was responsible for, Charles Barkley at Auburn, Chuck Person. He recruited those guys personally. So he was a pillar in the SEC, and he moved over to Georgia, and he started coming down, and my parents fell in love with him. And I didn't end up going to the University of Georgia for the University of Georgia. I went to the University of Georgia for Coach Anderson and his family, because I knew that was somebody, my parents knew, somebody that was going to be a pillar of strength for me. And he was that father figure.